Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, August 19th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I let love infuse my actions. And we're coming down from new moon energy. We still have a little yachtiness going on, but we're kind of moving away from that. Phew, goodness. But here comes the Virgo. We actually have the moon moving into Virgo today, and we actually have later in the day Mercury moving into Virgo at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. And so, like I always say, the sign before the sign, so Leo before Virgo, it has an important platform. It has an important foundation for the next sign to utilize. So we have to remember our lessons of Leo as we start rolling in this Virgo energy. Now, the thing that comes to mind with Virgo very strongly is the mental energy. Is that the highest best of Virgo? No, but it is a very, very, very strong component of Virgo. And that's the thing. A lot of times we can be in our heart, we can be very loving, and then one word from the mind and that all goes out the window. I feel like it is very important to remember the lesson of love as we move forward into this Virgo energy. I just did a patron for the new moon, and the whole thing revolved around love, and multiple people pulled cards, and so much love energy, love vibration was held in that. And we were also focusing on the incoming week, this Virgo energy incoming, to have that foundation rooted in love before we let the critical nature of this Virgo energy infiltrate too much, I feel like is going to be so important as we move into Virgo time, Virgo season. Now, what I love is that we have the moon in Virgo. So the moon in Virgo, bringing our alignment more to that mental energy. Virgo is ruled, at least in part, by Mercury energy. But remembering, we can also be the guide for our mind, that the mind doesn't have to run the show. We can utilize this energy of focus, but also work at focusing on love. Now, I know some people feel like love is dangerous. And that's the thing. Like, love doesn't mean that you have to be a martyr. Love doesn't mean that you must sacrifice. Yes, sometimes that may happen. But you can also utilize this focus and love. You can hold love from a distance. You can carry love while, taking actions that are boundaries or whatever. There's so many ways to utilize this, but to remember that spirit of love, to remember that energy of love feels very important, again, as we ingress into Virgo season coming in swiftly. Now, that being said, we have Mercury for the most of the day hanging out at that 29-degree energy. So if we can infuse our thoughts with love, again, focus on that love energy, that will support us holding that during Virgo energy. And that will support maybe not going to the extreme of some of those Virgo energies. One of them that comes to mind beyond like the mental energy is Virgo energy can be very critical. It wants perfection. It wants everything in order, in alignment. My sister, who has a Virgo moon, she would always say, a place for everything and everything in its place. That is like the spirit of Virgo energy to some extent. My feeling is when the love is fused into the Virgo energy, that's when we get that major healing energy. Virgo is the sign of service, and so we can hold that love and be of service to the world through that love vibration, through that love energy. So the moon is bringing us there. Mercury is holding that love space, and I'm going to get into Mercury in Virgo in tomorrow's scope, but I wanted to lay that foundation there with that. So moon in Virgo, Mercury in Virgo at 6:30 p.m. Now I have to say, with Mercury at 29 degrees and shifting signs, sometimes we can have Mercury retrograde like energies or experiences. So if you encounter tech issues, communication issues, that can be very Mercury based. So do keep that in mind. Besides that, the moon is going to be making the connections. Besides, we'll talk about the just a little bit more. But the moon is going to be connecting to Uranus. And that's not going to be till the evening. So it's kind of a quiet day. What I would say with these transits through the day, loving on your body, focusing on your body and its physical needs. Virgo also rules our daily experience. And I always say this is our virtual experience. Virtual experience, what I call it? The word just disappeared. But basically, this is how we experience our virtual reality experiencer, our physical body. So loving on your body, tending to it, being healthy with it, in a holistic manner. Body, mind, spirit, soul, heart, which sometimes being healthy in that manner means indulging in ice cream or whatever. Keep in mind, as we finish up Leo, we want to also honor the inner child energy. So there comes that ice cream energy popping up again. You can always make it an ice cream if you prefer that. Anyway, tending to our body through the day, honoring its needs, as like the day is kind of quiet, transit-wise, that's kind of nice because, wow, it's been a lot. The mind with Mercury at 29 degrees may be kind of rapid. Again, keep bringing the focus towards love. I have a snoozy partner in the background. Moon also connecting to Venus, kind of echoing that self-love, self-care energy. Venus is actually hanging out at 11 degrees. So tending to yourself, caring for yourself, noticing your needs, showing up for it, all of that will be super healing through the day. That moon connecting to Uranus energy can stimulate the airwaves. It may stimulate your mind. It may stimulate those electrical energies, but that'll move through fairly fast and hopefully simmer down. Allow grounding to be part of your daily practice. I wanted to mention that so we're moving kind of beyond it, but we're still within the orb of it. So we have the sun and the North Node feeding into the Saturn energy. Responsibility. And just like I mentioned in the new moon video, responsibility to your purpose. And again, that we have that connection to love, like that sun and Mercury still hanging out in Leo, that energy that reminds us that when we feel those tingles, when we feel that energy, there's an alignment that's happening there. Even when you're feeling like joy, there's an alignment that's happening there. Sometimes that purpose, sometimes that Saturn energy can feel heavy and like, oh, this is what you should be doing. It's exactly what Saturn sounds like. I should do the voice of Saturn in a TV show. Wouldn't that be something? Anyway, Saturn degrees. Spirit of silliness abounds over here. Anyway, sometimes we imagine that heaviness, the shoulds, that being the focus, that's when we're in alignment, but it's not. It is that joy. It is those tingles of love that we want to utilize. And again, the North Node feeding in is like your purpose can be fun. It can be joyful. And hey, are you being called to make any actionable changes in order to align with these energies at this time? So do be aware of that. Speaking of that, I do have some cards. Playfulness. Can you infuse playfulness into your day? Because that is part of this new path that we're laying down. And we're moving a little bit, well, we're moving towards, but away from these energies, the guilt and the control, getting stuck there. Now, Virgo very much can be like this, but it doesn't have to, especially if you allow yourself to align with that love energy. So, awareness, choice, it is up to you. So, I will talk about Mercury in Virgo in my next scope, but for now, focus on the love. So that is it for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and stay curious. Namaste.